The opinions and information provided on Equity Strategies are those of the guest companies solely and do not necessarily represent Radio America or Stu Taylor. We do not warrant nor guarantee the accuracy of the statements made by the guest on the program. Guests may pay a fee to appear on the program and are not affiliated with Equity Strategies in any manner.
All right, great to have you all with us. This is Stu Taylor. And I love starting the show off on a positive note, or taking a negative and turning it into a positive. And yes, our first guest is someone I support 100%. My personal point of view is pretty much the same as his, although he's had much more sophistication in doing the research on it. But when I took a look at his book, I said, oh, he hit the nail right on the head. His name is Giacomo Fasano. He's the author of Revolutionary Powercycles. It's published by Ex Libris. You can go to barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, or exlibris.com. Get all the information, a lot of which we're going to listen to today. Giacomo, it's indeed a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I just want to cut to the chase and get right into it. My book's a fitness guide. It was based on my own life experiences the last 10 years of running and some discoveries I made. And it's, basically, it has to do with, the power of our bodily water and a topic that's not that talked about, the details of sweat. As everybody knows, cancer and heart disease are killers. 9 out of 10 people will lose their life to it. I believe my strategy can cut that dramatically in half, maybe even greater. Just by tapping into some basic principles. And I want to start off by saying, I don't know if everybody knows, but we're water-based. We're 42 liters of water. Our cells are every day under attack from toxins like lead, mercury, arsenic, sodium. Our cells make up our whole body. Our cells are the largest carrier of water in our body. The area around our cells, the second largest carrier, and the blood, the third. So you have your top 3 sources of water, and when you go out and push yourself, and listen to my Powercycle program, you're going to skim a liter of water from your body, which is about 2% of your body water, and you're taking water from guess where? You got it. Cells, the area around the cells, the blood. It has to be those 3. Those are the top 3 carriers. And along in doing so, you're going to be taking micrograms, small, tiny amounts of toxins out of your cells and blood. Things like I said, lead, nickel, sodium, now triglycerides, which are fats in blood that build up.
Let me just interject. What about nutrients? Are you going to take those out of your blood too?
Well, the wonderful part about my program is no one's denying that there's good minerals, but everything is based on a small amount. Good minerals, you can go out, you can fill them up, put them in your body again, but you don't need to do that with lead. Lead's a fixed amount coming into your body. If you do my program, get the lead out, you can go on ahead, pop calcium, pop magnesium, and you're back to normal. Listen, my biggest evidence is myself and athletes out there. Professional running athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo in his 30s. You got LeBron James. These people they're toxic free. They're lead, sodium, they have none in their system. This is what they look like. This is what you can look like. You can copy the metrics of a pro athlete. It's all about using your body for what it was worth to do. God made us and designed us a certain way. I really feel I'm sleeping on. I'm on a sleeping giant here. That's going to emerge as one of the biggest health factors moving forward.
Giacomo, I'm just going to interject. I want to just give out your website. It's revolutionarypowercycles.com. Revolutionarypowercycles.com. And a very common sense question, I think. What you say makes all the sense in the world. How come we don't have this full-blown from the medical community in our faces in newspapers?
I was hoping you would ask that question. I really was. I don't know. My biggest thing is, it's so basic that, why aren't the scientists on it? I mean, they're not really Powercycling. They're not really that. Most of them aren't really that active. I just think it has to. Listen, the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry is one of my biggest references in my book. I don't know if many people even knew of them. I didn't know them. They rank toxins based on toxology reports of the deceased. They do based on the propensity of harm. You got arsenic number 1, lead number 2, and mercury number 3, based on what it's already done, the damage done to America in the last 10, 15 years, autopsies, toxological reports, and they rank them. Okay, I don't hear scientists talking about those. Why not? They're killing us. Why aren't they talking about how it's in your cells and how the water, like riptide in the ocean, it's going to force it out? It's moving water. God made our body use the force of moving water if you choose, to force these particles out of you. And the progressive displacement calculator, something I made up, is a multiplier in which you can take a lifetime of workout, say 5,000 or 10,000 liters, and multiply it times the microgram contents of a sweat, which include, like I said, lead, nickel, sodium, and how about triglycerides, the fats and blood. When you take that multiplier over 50 years, with triglycerides, it's just almost a stick of butter.
And most people don't even recognize what triglycerides are. It's just not it's not out there.
And that's the problem here, is that this is, to me, it's emerging. I don't know why yet the science community hasn't taken it. It's probably because it's insulting, maybe, that someone, maybe, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I went to law school. Maybe someone logical who can take 1 + 2 = 3. It's just, I think it's slow-moving, trending stuff. I mean, the toxin information is trending. And I think people have always known that sweating removes toxins, but that's it. My book is looking to take it to peel the onion back a little bit and show you a lot of details. And what's interesting, like, what happens, and then there's proof out there. Like I said, you got athletes who look like $1 million, and it's because of their running metrics. And we can have that, and you can control that, and you can sleep better, you can eat better, feel better, just by making 5 hours a week your top priority. Powercycle is the #1 priority in my life. I don't care if I don't get those 5 hours in, nothing else takes care of itself. Meanwhile, if I do, everything seems to take care of itself. And I'm going to be 48 in July, and I don't feel 48, and I honestly think it's this program and draining your body. If you haven't felt what it feels like to just exert yourself for over an hour, 75 minutes, and fill your shirt up with sweat lately, you should do it. And it talks for itself. It speaks volumes just by experiencing it. And I think that's what's going to be ultimately the thing that takes us off, is when people start to realize the power. And again, LeBron James is 30 years old. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, these guys have running metrics like the Powercycle. It's 4 to 7 miles a shot, 3 or 4 times a week. And look at them. This is what it means to be toxin-free.
Well, I want you to look at the holistic and traditional approach. It's not just this. Because if you're doing drugs, if you're smoking, if you're eating the wrong foods, in addition to exercise, and you talk in your book, too, about meditation, isn't this really a comprehensive approach, but this is kind of the key point?
Yeah, that's a great thing. I use this and preach that you should meditate and pray for 30% of your Powercycle time. It's an opportunity, and at the end, the endorphins you release make you extremely relaxed, and you can feel confident that you're communicating with your God. Your spirituality will rise right out of your body over a period of 5 to 10 years if you do this. If you get active and push yourself a little hard with the cardio and get these deep sweats going regularly, your spirituality will just raise right to your #1 part of your body. You'll feel your spirit. I feel every day. I feel very confident with my spirituality now, and it has to do with the endorphins. You get a real powerful mind from the endorphins. They're meant to be released only through hard work, and that tells something right there. And yeah, there's a whole spirituality aspect to getting into running shape. It comes down to that. Although in my book I discuss many forms of power cycling. You can do a lot of things to exert a hard.
Yeah, well, give us a few of those.
The sex power cycle, believe it or not. You can have sex for an hour if you can last, and you can sweat like an animal. You could chop wood for an hour. You could ski for 3 hours. I know these are alternatives. It's hard to do them 4 times a week.
Listen, do you mind if I forget about chopping wood? No, go ahead. A little joke.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, it comes down to people starting to get into the details of what is causing cancer. Why do everybody just? It seems like
it's not just cancers, Giacomo. It's a whole series of diseases that you're talking about, bucking, right?
Yeah, exactly. I believe my Power Cycle program. It's not going to cure, but it's the prevention tool for listen up for all these. I'm not crazy. Cancer, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and depression, guaranteed, because these particles are just adding up, and when they accumulate, the end result is that. As a matter of fact, out of all those, the only one that actually truly kills you from the accumulation is the triglycerides, because those are the fats and blood, and they just stay in there, and they eventually clog everybody. Now, you could take a fraction out 4 times a week. In 50 years, it's, like I said, a stick of butter. This is going to come out, believe me. People save for their financial retirement, but they don't seem to really understand the implications of health retirement, which, you know, you can't enjoy your wealth if you don't have health. And the power of moving water, it's your own body, it's your own sweat, it's your own water that's going to actually take it from point A in your body to point B.
I'm curious to know, Giacomo, if you've consulted with any physicians and what kind of feedback they've given you on your book.
I'm trying real hard to get endorsements, and you know, I unfortunately I'm a part-time author. I work a full-time job, and it's a real slow process with me. But I think it's eventually going to get there. I just wrote a letter to the president, a 4-page letter, and I'm sure I might not even read it. But you know, I'm trying to do that. But in the same token, this has already been out there. People kind of knew the 10,000-foot view. They knew sweating gets rid of toxins. All I did was break it down a little bit and find out the details of this. And now, like I said, I'm the guy talking about the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry, which they study the autopsies and they rank these toxins. They're in our body, and this is what it's in your sweat. So, yeah, it's not going to do it in one shot, but life is never that easy. So you have to work a little bit. And it's actually, the program is not that hard. It's all mental. Getting dressed, going through the motions is half the battle with any exercise program.
All right, you can learn about the whole battle and how to win this and stay healthy. Buy the book, Revolutionary Power Cycles, published by Ex Libris, written by Giacomo Fasano. His last name is spelled Fasano, Powercycles. RevolutionaryPowercycles.com. Thank you so much.